Hi and welcome back to my channel, and today we're looking at a brand new subreddit, which is r/OhNoConsequences, where people post and they don't even think about the consequences of the things that they're doing. So let's jump right in and find out about what these people have been up to. All right, first we have a Facebook post. I know schooling is a struggle with a lot of our kids, but I'm really struggling to get my 9-year-old to read. We've been unschooling this year as other approaches placed too much demand on him. I've tried every possible way under the sun to teach him to read. I know he wants to be able to read, but he also refuses to even remotely try to learn. Any materials or books or apps I try to use, he says are for babies. He won't even do the alphabet song because it's for babies. He's a smart kid and more than capable. Does anyone else deal with this? I feel like my kid is the only kid that can't read at this age, and like I'm just failing him. I've taught my 3 other kids to read, but he's my most spicy child out of all of them. I will say that every child learns differently. Not every child, it's not a cookie cutter method on teaching your children anything. So just because one method worked for your 3 other children doesn't mean that it's going to work on this particular child. I will also say that I, as a former teacher, have a lot to say about unschooling, and all of it is negative. So I probably shouldn't go into anything extreme about that, but I will say then that in all of my 10 years of teaching, and I've been out of it for quite a while, probably about 6 years or so, I could count on 2 hands a lot of the times how many of my children, and I taught 7th grade, so much older than this child, that my students were actually on above grade level. They were reading on grade level or above. And it flabbergasted me. I did not understand how if we were in, and this was after No Child Left Behind had been passed, so I did not understand, okay, so if we don't want children left behind, how did these children get in 7th grade and they're reading on 3rd, 4th, 5th grade levels, a lot of them. Or why are we just passing these babies along? So, and that is still happening. I don't have the answers as to how to change that. School has changed a lot even in those years since I have become a teacher, and it's sad. And this kid's attitude is a lot of the reason, because the kids these days, they don't have the stamina to really stick with stuff, to want to learn. So I don't know what the answer is, and I wish I did. Any comments, please let me know what you think. All right, our next post. Am I the jerk for telling my dad's parents that I don't want them at my graduation when they said I wasn't their real grandson? Oof, that sounds pretty spicy. In November, my 18-year-old male dad's parents and my mom got into an argument because they mentioned they said they decided to start a college fund for my brother, who's 11. It wasn't even brought up, they just decided to share it on their own. My mom was confused since they mentioned it out of the blue, but thanked them. The grandparents. Okay, got it. She asked them why they decided to make one now and why they brought it up. They said something about wanting to do it for their grandson and making sure he's set so he doesn't have to worry about paying for college. My mom then asked if they had started one for me, and they said that I wasn't their quote unquote real grandson. So their answer was no, and they didn't have one for me. They added something about how I'd quote get something else and accused my mom of expecting too much. For context, my dad adopted me when I was 5. He started dating my mom when I was 2. I don't know my biological father personally, but I know of him. He died when I was 3. Oh, I'm so sorry. And my mom told me he wasn't a good person and was in and out of jail. My dad is the only dad I've ever known, and I've always thought his parents accepted me. But hearing them basically say I wasn't their quote real grandson hurt. It wasn't even about the money. It was the fact that I was excluded, and realizing the only reason why was because I wasn't my dad's biological son. What? Ooh, I wish I could say some stuff on YouTube right now. Ooh! I have some words that I would say to your grandparents. The argument happened right in front of me and my brother, just a few days before Thanksgiving. Since then, I've viewed my dad's parents differently. I mean, how could you not? And tried to keep my distance from them. They eventually apologized for saying I wasn't their real grandson, but only because my dad basically forced them to. Over time, I realized I didn't really care anymore, but I just loved them more than they loved me. School is almost back in, and I take senior pictures soon. My dad's parents were over for Christmas, and my dad brought up me taking pictures. That led to my dad's parents talking about how excited they were to see me graduate and how they couldn't wait. This confused me, which I would be confused too. I honestly did because a month ago they basically told me I wasn't their real grandson, and now they're excited to see me graduate. Yeah, that's insane. I told them that they weren't going to come and that I didn't want them to be there. Of course, this shocked my parents and my dad's parents. They asked why, and I told them I remember them saying I wasn't their real grandson, so it doesn't make sense for them to want to come to my graduation when they have no ties to me. It makes perfect sense. My dad looked upset, and his parents were too. His parents basically said I should move on since they already apologized and meant no harm. I told them that when they apologized, it was only because my dad told them to. After that, it got awkward. This happened during Christmas, and I haven't seen them since. My dad told me they're hurt by what I said, and that I should apologize and let them know I didn't mean it, and that I'd still like them to come. I told him I meant what I said, and that I didn't want them there. It's not like I can stop them from coming anyways, but I'd prefer if they didn't since they have no reason to be there. He says their feelings are hurt. Oh, well, boo-hoo. It's honestly embarrassing to think they've been my grandparents my whole life, only to find out they didn't even think of me as their grandson. My mom says she agrees with me, but thinks I should consider my dad's feelings, since this puts him in a hard position and wants everyone to be, quote, family. I'm not trying to hurt my dad, but I don't want his parents at my graduation when I just found out they don't accept me. Well, okay, your dad wants everyone to be family, but his parents don't accept you as their family. So, I mean, what else can you do? It's not anything you can do. It's not your problem. It's their problem. All right, our next story. Sorry, you can't come with us since we don't consider you part of our perfect family. Wait, why are we being excluded by our friends? Okay. Another spicy one. I am 20 currently, but my parents divorced when I was 11, and my dad remarried to Lauren less than a year later. Lauren already had a baby, Cora. Lauren was nice before they married, but after she and my dad got married, she made it clear that she didn't want me in the picture and saw me as an obstacle to her, quote, perfect marriage. Oh, we've got the bad stepmother. Why? Why do these people exist? They would almost always force me to babysit Cora. Oftentimes they would promise I could go see my friends or do something. Then I would be forced to cancel last minute because they wanted to go out and needed someone to watch Cora. When they did spend time with Cora, I was almost always excluded. An example was how I was told to check in with my grandma, which I didn't mind as I love her and help her with chores. I discovered after returning home that my dad, Laura, and Cora went to an amusement park without me. Lauren claimed she wanted family only on the trip. My dad didn't say anything. Dad's not standing up for you. This is one of the countless examples when I was excluded and my dad never stood up for me. At 16, I chose to live with my mom full time. Oh, I wonder why. And stopped coming to my dad and Lauren's house. Things are going well. I have a job and am able to stay in the area because my college is online. Not because of the pandemic. I chose an online program before any of that happened. I and a few friends were out at dinner when we bumped into Jacob, who was the son of two of my dad's friends. He and his parents were always nice to me, and we spent most of the dinner talking together. Jacob brought up that he was sad that he didn't get to see me as often after the courts had forced me away from my dad's house. I would be confused if someone told me that. Turns out my dad and Lauren told people how my evil mother, ridiculous, but also Jacob never met my mom and only knew her from my dad's stories, manipulated the courts and had their custody completely stolen. And that's why I didn't live with them anymore. I told Jacob I chose to leave. I named some of the times I was excluded, how Lauren wanted family time only without me, and my dad never stood up for me. Jacob was shocked, but we managed to redirect the conversation, and it was still a good night. Turns out Jacob told his parents, who told their friend group, including almost all the neighbors, about how my dad and Lauren treated me. Now their friends are excluding my dad and Lauren. Karma. Karma, if you ask me. They found a new phone to get past me blocking them and are saying I need to talk about this with them. And we know you're a good daughter and will help end these rumors about your family. Some relatives are saying I should help them since now Cora is being excluded by her former friends and is extremely upset about this. These relatives are saying that I'm an adult and Cora is a child, so she should come first. I agree with putting children first, and I feel bad for Cora since it isn't her fault, but I still feel she's not my responsibility. So am I the jerk? Ooh. I definitely don't think you're the jerk for what you've done to make sure people know what your your stepmom and your dad have done to you and the unintended consequences of that are that Cora is now being excluded by her friends. Now, can you apologize to Cora? Yes. Should you? Probably. You didn't mean for her to get caught in the crossfires of this, but I mean, it is her mother's fault after all. So, I don't know. It's however you want to handle that, I suppose. All right, our next story is: am I the jerk for not making my sister a bridesmaid and for contemplating not inviting her to my wedding either? Ooh, what did this sister do? Ooh, my goodness. My fiance and I, both 25. Wow, y'all are so young getting married. Okay, I was only a couple years older than you, but that feels so young. Are planning our wedding, and we have a few things done so far, including choosing our bridesmaids and groomsmen. One person who is not in my bridal party is my sister, who is 26. We don't talk as adults, and we never had a close relationship as kids. She never liked me and has wished she had been an only child multiple times throughout our life. She was always embarrassed to be around me. She'd crap on everything I liked and mocked my appearance. She was one of the mean girls and would make fun of me and two of my friends for being girls and with a bunch of guy friends. Ah, okay, got it. During our teens, she was extra nasty to me, and our parents even got her therapy when punishing her for the stuff she'd said to me did nothing. She even said she should be allowed to say whatever she liked to me since people knew we were sisters and she couldn't pretend she didn't know me. Growing up changed nothing, and she was always such a female dog when we came face to face. Even my fiance got crap aimed at him when he was one of those nerdy friends of mine she didn't like, and she thought it was pathetic when we were dating, but then said clearly nobody else would date us. I'm also the person she never let her future kids be around because she didn't want them to be like me. For all these reasons, I didn't ask her to be a bridesmaid, which upset her and her parents. My parents, excuse me. My parents didn't surprise me because I knew they might be disappointed. Her being upset shocked me, but I quickly realized she was getting more crap from extended family for the way things are between us and wanted to put on a show for them. But my parents are the people I'm frustrated about. They were always understanding of me avoiding my sister's cruelty, but now they expect me to put her in the wedding, and they were so pushy about it, which made it worse. What made it worse is when I said I wasn't even sure I'd invite her. I told them I was so sure she'd either be a total butt to me on my wedding day and create a scene, or act for the day and then go back to the way she always is, and she'd be wasting money that could be saved or spent on someone who isn't awful to me and my fiance. They told me she is my only sibling, and not inviting her is something I can't take back. They told me I should be the bigger person about all this and accept that it could go badly, but you do things for family. They told me they can't even believe I would question whether she'd be invited. They also saw me being more mature about everything and how disappointed they are in me for this. So, am I the jerk? No, you're not the jerk for wanting to put in boundaries. It's called boundaries. And when people cross your boundaries, you're allowed to put in safeguards so you will not be hurt, even if that person is a parent or a sibling. It is okay. All right. Next story. Owners don't want to give me what I deserve, so now they're about to lose a $3 million contract because I resigned. I am a project manager for an unlimited commercial GC. I picked up a hammer for the first time 6 years ago with no prior experience. I was raised believing if you work hard and apply yourself, you'll be successful. For 2 years, I learned everything I could in the construction industry, took my work home with me, and studied on my own time to better myself. For that, I was promoted to foreman. I was brought in to take over a small project of a 12 building, 120 unit condo complex. It started small, and the board of directors for the HOA told me they loved my professionalism, work ethic, and ability to complete projects on time and under budget. We won a big contract because of that small project. That was 3 years ago. I've since taken over the job of foreman, superintendent, and project manager. I do the billing, meeting with engineers and board members, scheduling, takeoff, material ordering. I even trained the subs on application of new projects because we didn't have enough middle management. The project just passed 2.7 mil. We got a bid request for another 3 mil job in the same complex. All while the board of directors telling me how appreciative they are and how they've gone through 5 different contractors in the years before committing to my company because of my management and quality of work. This boosted my confidence, and I went to the owners asking for the raise they promised me a year ago for my production. They told me that the experience you're gaining is far more valuable. I said, "You're right." I put my resume on public, got contacted by a headhunter, and just accepted an offer this week for $80K a year salary, full benefits, 28 days of PTO, including holidays. In the office now, no more working for the field, full in my own truck, laptop, Wi-Fi in my truck for the on-go billing when I visit the out-of-state projects, 80 days per diem, 100% matching my 401k for the first 3 years of my employment, and quarterly bonus programs. The company I'm with now only pays me $40K, and that's in none of the above listed benefits. The final nail in the coffin was when the owners bragged about how much my project made in the company meeting and then denied me a Christmas bonus. I laid this offer on their desk Friday and watched their jaws hit the floor. I told the HOA board president of the project I'm running about my resignation when they couldn't match my offer. This person needed to edit this. His eyes got big and requested a meeting with the owners and expressed serious concern about moving forward with the new project without my involvement. They don't have anyone to replace me, and I'm not gonna lie, it feels good to hurt their pockets when I gave them everything I had for 6 years and only asked for the median project manager salary. Forget those greedy people. Next thing, just looking to vent. So I got married a couple years ago, legally married. I've been with him for some time now before we tied the knot. Our relationship has always been walking on shelves to me, not trusting him, but I love this man dearly. He, on the other hand, I feel he loves me, but is not in love with me, if that explains anything. We've been together for some years now, but I feel like his heart and mind are elsewhere. He isn't the same as he was once when we got together. Recently, I found out he's talking to his ex through an ex-coworker of ours. He was so hard to pull out of that toxic relationship and be with me. Never would I have thought she would still be interested in him. It's been so long. I brought it up how I knew they were talking, and of course he denied it all. For about a year now, he has completely changed, from appearance to new everything. He's also so different, always happy and in a good mood, when before he would be irritated about work. I noticed everything. I make dinner. He says he's already eaten. To make things worse, now we barely have any fun in the bedroom. I even try to look sexy when we're alone, but it's like he doesn't care. I'm sad because I know I'll be a single mother to my 3-year-old, but I feel like I'm losing my husband. I have a strong gut feeling his ex, is rocking his boat. I always knew they loved each other, and I thought I could take that away. Now I'm hoping for the best. Please don't bash me in the comments below. Any advice is appreciated. I'm not sure how to help, but interesting. And that's our final story. Any advice for this lady in the comments or any of the other stories? That's great. And if you like this content, please let me know if you want to keep doing this particular subreddit, or any other subreddits I should check out. And if you like my channel, please subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.